And welcome to our first live and direct session of 2025. It's with Canadian singer-songwriter Leif Vollebekk. He's here with a room full of WYP listeners. All right. We're going to get started with some songs. We'll be talking about the fifth album from Leif Vollebekk called Revelation in just a moment. And Leif, would you like to start us off with a song?
Yeah, I'll play a Peace of Mind off the new record. Driving around looking for action, mountain range come into view. The colors they change with the sun and the rain, and maybe now I'm different. Last night I prayed for direction, this morning when it showed, I didn't hold on. Now baby it's gone, and you tell me now that's just how it goes. Peace of mind. Ooh, you give me peace of mind. Honey, you make it look easy, floating above the world. But when you least expect it, your body electric brings you back to that little girl. Running through the streets of the village, talking to strangers on high. 98 in the shade, for this you were made, but my northern blood was begging to fly. Ooh, you give me peace of mind. Ooh, you give me peace of mind. Blood in the river, turning to dust. Two of us. I wonder if I'm crazy to want this, wandering from town to town. What if my purpose is deserting the circus? Honey, would you follow a clown? I dreamed I attended my funeral, children playing in the rain, a dandelion placed over my face, and I'll never be the same again. Ooh, you give me peace of mind. Peace of mind. Ooh, you give me peace of mind. Ooh, you give me peace of mind. You give me peace of mind. You give me peace of mind. You give me peace of mind.
Nothing like some live music to start off a Monday, and Leif Vollebekk is here. He's from Montreal, and he's been in our studios before. It's been about 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
I had to look back. I remembered it was around the time maybe Twin Solitude came out?
I think so.
Or perhaps a little bit after that?
No, that's the one. That's exactly right.
All right, and welcome back to Pittsburgh.
Thank you. It's so nice here. It's kind of like the architecture I find is so cool. It's a bit Batman-y a little bit sometimes.
Hey, there was a Batman filmed here, right?
Really? Oh, really? I didn't know that. I was
films.
just like, this looks way more like Batman than Manhattan. And I was like, but I was walking around yesterday. I was like, this is so much more Batman, and I was like so inspired. But I'm not like a bat guy. But anyhow.
Well, congratulations on your fifth release. There was a little bit of delay.
Was it really filmed here?
Yeah.
Oh, which one?
All of them?
There've been several parts of different ones that have
So
been
cool.
filmed here.
Okay,
over time.
well, now I
Yeah.
just feel like I'm just stating the obvious. Okay. You're like, we know it looks like Batman.
So that song you just did for us live, "Peace of Mind Evening," is one that you told me was recorded in one take.
Oh, well, they're all one takes.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
But no, that one was that was. I mean, they're one take, and then sometimes we'd redo it like a few months later if I want another take. But I like to record live with the vocals in the band, and then build the track after. If I want to add strings or something, add it after. But I like hearing the vocal first and make sure that the feeling is good. I don't like overdubbing the vocal, which is pretty much normal how people make records, but it's more like a Elvis Presley kind of old school, do everybody in the same room kind of thing.
Well, there's a little bit of time and a bit of a process before you got to release this album last September, and I read that you mentioned that it was kind of a 2-year retirement for you, but
Yeah.
during the COVID pandemic, and a lot of things came to you that time. So
Yeah,
the break was a bit of a good one for you.
Yeah, a lot of artists that I've spoken to, especially in the early days, a lot of them were saying, please don't tell anyone, but I'm having the most creative period of my life, and a lot of artists finally got to unplug from this machine, all the machines, and it's not easy creating when you're so distracted and also expected to interact, and it was just so nice. So I ended up reading all the books that I'd always wanted to read and getting some sleep. I had come from Australia. I was on like a world tour, and I was just like, oh, this is nice sleeping. And then I just started having songs come to me in my dreams sometimes too, and waking up with song ideas. And so the lazier I got, the more productive I was. Truly. And so, makes me think about all those ancient religions saying you need a day of rest. And I'm like, oh no, that's so you can work harder. Yeah.
Well, that's pretty amazing that a lot of songs came to you in your dreams. I hear that every once in a while, but not real often, because a lot of times when I wake up, the dreams kind of like disappear.
Yeah.
Did you wake up writing things down?
A couple times. I mean, let's be honest. There was just one song that I'm gonna play later that was in a dream, but sometimes it would just be like I was doing this. I was reading about Carl Jung a lot, and then I've always been into Jack Kerouac, and he had a book of dreams. He'd write down. The trick is before you do anything, you write it down, because often you think you know the dream, but unless you write it down, because you're like, of course there was a tiger flying through the sky, like that, like always, because in the dream it was obvious, and so just writing it down, somehow you go, well, why was I dreaming about that landscape? And then you go, oh my God, that's from that, and that's from this, and that person was this, and you kind of get a little psychoanalysis, I guess, which is kind of what songwriting at its best is, I think. You kind of just discover things about yourself, hopefully.
Or a little revelation.
You did it.
I did it. I'm sorry.
No,
If this record's mostly about dreams and subconscious, there is a lot of also water and nature references throughout the record. But I read that you, this was the record that you wanted to make. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I mean, it took me a while, because I'm like on an indie kind of guy, and so I was always making my own records, kind of like figuring it out as I went. So I used to record live, but with everyone near each other, which meant that the sounds were not clean, and I thought that was the only way to do it. And on this record, I finally was like, oh, I can do it live, but with a bit more baffling and like really technical things, but we can get the vocal and the drums sounding better, but still be in the same room. All these technical things. And my dad, I always grew up listening to music with my parents, a lot of orchestration, a lot of 60s music, a lot of Eagles. And whenever violins would come on, I would love it. My dad would be like, now that's a record, And on this one, I thought, this time I'm going to do it. I used to do like doubling a quartet or playing some violin myself and like layering it. And this time we went to Budapest. I hired this great arranger. His name's Chris Elliott. I found his name in the liner notes to Amy Winehouse's Back to Black, and I emailed him, and I was like, look, I need to actually do this properly this time. I want a full orchestra. And he's like, I think you're talking about 28-piece. I'm like, okay, let's do it. So he was in England. He's English, great accent. And I would Zoom I'd record like in a Zoom recorder, or on Zoom I'd just sing to him all the top melodies. He'd write them down, send them back to me, and we just kind of had this collaborative thing. So I went all the way. So this song, the record has a full orchestra. Once it was all done, we threw it on. Yeah. And there's more. I mean, I got to play with my favorite musicians ever. I got to play with this great drummer named Jim Keltner, who I saw him on the liner notes for John Lennon Imagine. And I just was like, well, maybe he'll play on my record. I don't know. Because I was like, it kind of, the pandemic, I'm sure for all of you too, you kind of go, okay, well, what am I doing? And like, maybe I don't do another record after this. I don't know. So what do I want? So he plays on a couple songs.
Wow.
And he told me John Lennon stories, Roy Orbison stories. He played in the Traveling Wilburys too. So I just had all these amazing.
He's played on lots of records. Yeah, with Petty
right.
and so many others. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he plays on Knocking on Heaven's Door, and he was telling me he cried when he played that.
Wow.
Like it's just anyhow. It was a really special record to make for sure.
Well, Leif Vollebekk is here, and he has a really special record out. It's his fifth, called Revelation. We're going to hear a couple of songs from it. Then I'd like to talk about the other musicians that you worked with on the record, and also the producer of the record. It's Leif Vollebekk live and direct here at WYEP.
Amazing. This is a song called Moondog.
When I was young and I was barely free, just a boy upon my mother's knee. Was that the wind howling through the trees? Was that you calling to me? Calling to me. You showed me where the candle flame was black. I said, oh baby, I never noticed that. With your breasts pressed against my back, you were laughing in the bath. Laughing in the bath. Take a look at this face of mine. Is it cool? Is it crystalline? Or a pale imitation, brand new tessellation? Tell me what you see. Moondog, you're all I need. My mind keeps circling back to you. Just like the universe, it begs me to. What frightens me is what frightens you. Oh baby, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? I'm breaking free with a deeper will. The one I seek is a seeker still, always reaching, never teaching. I know nothing, baby. Who am I to instruct? Moondog, you're out of luck. Sometimes it's magic, sometimes it's hid. Half of magic is just hiding. I always loved you, just didn't know I did. One day I just let the light in. It was a barn burner in Galena, Illinois. Fate hit me like a bolt of lightning. Tired of living in the pouring rain. 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 It's my life and I'm living in it. Tired of living in the pouring rain. Tired of living in the pouring rain. Tired of living in the pouring rain. It's my life. Sometimes there's magic, sometimes it's hid. Half of magic is just hiding.
Thanks so much.
We are live and direct with Leif Vollebekk here in our studios at WYEP. The new album is his fifth, called Revelation. He's going to do another song from that record right now.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's a lot to take off the harmonica holder and switch guitars, and sometimes I forget which one to do first, and you end up with a harmonica holder deeper into your face. So, this is a song I haven't been playing very much, but a lot of the dudes, like my dude friends, are like, love that song, man. And when I recorded it, I remember thinking this is going to be kind of the Nirvana song. It's not really a Nirvana song, but it's got the loud chorus. So just imagine it getting louder. We're gonna stay chill here. It's called False-Hearted Lover. Very sad.
False-hearted lover brought you to my arms. Did she really do me any harm? False-hearted lover brought you to me. Oh baby, can't you see? When someone shows you who they are, you best be listening hard. There was a season, now it's gone. No use in hanging on. Yeah, I'm right where I belong. There's no use in hanging on. I was drowning in the smoke, baby. The perfume and the fog of all the lies you told me. Those are just the ones I call a false-hearted love. A false-hearted love. We were born to be desired, with a naked sky on fire, conceived before the light. She said, baby, do I right? Now I know I must confess, I don't love you any less, but like a muscle that you tore, I don't love you anymore. I was drowning in the smoke, baby. The perfume and the fog of all the lies lies you told me, those are just the ones I caught. You ask me why I'm crying, you say, what are you crying for? Well, it's not because you lied, baby, it's that I can't trust you anymore. A false-hearted lover, a false-hearted lover. False-hearted lover, lover, la 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 la, la 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 la.
False-Hearted Lover is on Revelation, the new album from Leif Vollebekk, who's here sharing some stories and live music. We also heard Moondog from that same album here, and pretty amazing. I don't normally look to see who's produced things when songs first come in, and it's, I guess, a little bit different now digitally than when we used to get them on CD, and you would look up the liner notes right away, and that always isn't available when you get them through WAV files and things right away. So it was interesting to see last week when I was reading about the record that you worked with Chad Blake. Who's a producer.
Oh, he mixed the record.
Mixed the record. Okay,
yeah.
all right.
So, yeah, I mean, I was the producer, unfortunately.
No.
But you know, because I couldn't find anybody, you know. But Chad is the guy that he mixed it, but he mixed the record in such a way that it was unbelievable. Mixing is a funny thing because you don't think it's important, and most people don't know really what it is, because it's just, you see pictures of people in the studio moving faders, you know, and like, oh, put more drums, but there's more to it, you know. So he mixed it, and he took the record to a completely other place.
And he's worked with so many people over the years.
Mm-hmm.
It's even hard to start a list.
Yeah. The Sheryl Crow, the Black Keys. Yeah, he really gets. What I really wanted was the drums. His drum sound. I really care about the drums. They mean a lot to me. The lyrics and the drums seem to be the focus, and he has a way of just making them make you dance and really feel it. You know, he's known for it. Yeah.
Well, the production and the mixing sounds great. There's a warm feel to it, and you know, I also noticed that you worked with a couple of musicians that we play, Anais Mitchell.
Yes.
And also Angie McMahon, who's from Australia.
Yes.
So you've really reached out to kind of flesh out this fifth album.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping it was all in the kind of that pandemic haze. I remember thinking, well, I want to play more music with my friends, and I want to have more people on this record. I really want to, but also they have these voices that are just killer, and in a higher range than me. So why harmonize with myself poorly? And Angie, I've toured Australia with her many years ago, and Anais, I fell in love with that Bonnie Light Horseman record. That's one of my favorite records ever, if you don't know it. Their first record, I mean, they've made 2 other records that are also phenomenal. Mm-hmm. But, you know, the first time that you discover voices in a band, and they recorded it in Woodstock, which is where I went to record, because I thought the album sounded so pristine. So my producer call was to imitate them. Yeah. And, you know, and use old microphones and all on tape and everything.
Fantastic. Yeah, get that authentic feel.
Yeah.
Well, I want to revisit, we talked at the beginning of the interview about you having a lot of dreams and how some of those ended up in the songs, but one in particular, which you're going to do here in just a moment, had to do with dreaming about Jeff Buckley.
Yeah.
Yeah, the late musician who died back in 1997.
Yeah, and was it at? Yeah. I discovered Jeff Buckley like everybody else really late to the game, and he's such a great musician, and I kind of got into Led Zeppelin a little bit because of Jeff Buckley in a weird way, because he was such a big fan, and he had that Robert Plant kind of note quality sometimes. Yeah, and then I had a dream where he was teaching me this song on the guitar, and I woke up, and he was singing. The end is in falsetto, and it's a bit high for me actually, but he was playing it in the dream, and he was singing rock and roll over and over again, changing the chords, and I thought, oh my God, I love this song. And then I woke up and I was like, wait a minute, what song is that? So I ran to the guitar and just started playing it, and I thought, this is unreal. So for a few days I didn't know what song it was, and I was like, oh no, it's my song. So yeah, the lyrics came immediately after, but the chorus, the last bit is him. Yeah.
All right. Well, rock and roll. It's Leif Vollebekk, inspired by Jeff Buckley. But it's from his 5th album, Revelation, which is out now. And he's here live and direct in our WYEP studios.
On the record, it's kind of more of a Little Richard drum and piano thing, but I'm going to do it acoustic for you, so it's nice and sad.
Flowers wilted when the days got hard. Slow motion wheels on a fast moving truck. I'm driving around just to pick you up, but I can't find you. In the water of a sacred place, I see your reflection, yeah, I see your face. And I know that all will be erased if I touch it. I'm on a boat and I'm out at sea. There's no captain, or maybe the captain is me. And you got your head laying on my knee. Then I wake up. When you told me that you lost a friend, but it's just beginning in the end, and that you'll be seeing her again at the river. Well, I think I know just where you've been. My grandfather, he played the violin. And babe, I still remember him when I'm playing. So I'm gonna play just this one note. It ain't even one of the ones I wrote. In fact, none of them are, didn't you know? They're made by the maker of rockin'. Rock and roll, rock and roll, rock and roll. Sha-la-la. Sha-la-la-la-la-la. Sha-la-la-la-la. Rock and roll, rock and roll, rock and roll. Rock and roll. Sha-la-la.
Thank you so much.
Rock and Roll is on Revelation, the new album from Leif Vollebekk, his 5th overall. And I'm glad you got to make the record that you always wanted to make.
Thank you so much.
And you're out of your 2-year retirement. Well, I guess that happened a while ago.
I don't know, man. We might still be in it. I don't know if this is real.
Well, I sure hope you have some tour plans to come back through and play a show proper here in Pittsburgh.
I'm hoping in the fall. Yeah, we're hoping to come back.
Because I know you're going across the pond soon, back north of the border.
Yeah, I'll be opening for James Bay in the UK.
Okay.
First couple weeks of February, then we go straight to Vancouver to start the Canadian tour.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you're brave to get in the car and drive around in January to do a promotional tour for your album.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice.
So,
I mean, there's some flights too, so not
well,
so bad.
Good enough.
But yeah, no, it's so nice to just be able to play the songs and have people come. Thank you so much for being here, everybody.
All right. Thank you very much. Leif Vollebekk, live and direct on WYEP.